Hi, everybody. Welcome to the next episode, the penultimate episode of our stream in the Victorian horror system, The Between, the Midnight Hour. Before we continue on with our introductions, our recap, and our game today, I wanted to give a more in depth content warning for our stream tonight. We have been investigating the alleged and later confirmed suicide of a young man in the setting. And there have been other recorded deaths and incidents of violence and bloodshed within the setting. If you are currently struggling with what's going on TTRPG space right now, you're in mourning or just not feeling well, this might be a good time to step away and not tune into this stream. And we encourage you here to take time for yourself and to do what you need to take care. And now that that's done, we can go around and introduce ourselves. Joel, I think I will victimize you to introduce yourself first today.
Oh man, I don't have any examples now. God damn it. Hi, I'm Joel. I played the butler, Igor, who just kind of vibes and helps whoever needs help, which is kind of how I am all the time anyway. That's all I got. Yeah.
All right. Go ahead, Caleb.
Hello, I'm Caleb. I am playing Victor. He's a guy. I don't know. He has a cat. He's
afraid of feet.
Going through it with these owls right now. It's fine. I'm here.
And Cameron.
Hey everyone, my name is Cameron. I'll be playing Harper Billings, the American in our situation.
Nikki.
And I am Nikki, and I will be playing Dr. Helena Betancourt, and she is a real creep. Also, I wanted to mention that Dee is out for the night, so we will not have our pretty boy Lefarian with us, and yeah.
Yes, Dee cannot join us today. I am going to try to do their outro for them at the end of the stream. So if you are going to stay with us, you can look forward to that. I've heard it enough times that I think I can do it. Does anyone for your one free reroll want to do a recap of what happened last week?
Oh man. The notes I took are dismal.
You have notes.
So last time we played last week, we finished our little encounter in the back of the tailor's shop. We chased down the undead, what's his name? Cyrus. And we chopped off some feet of a dead body and then brought the dead body and the undead Cyrus back to our home after a night of relaxing and doing our own things. I can fix that.
That suffices.
Yeah. So we took care. We did a little bit of investigating, some personal stuff as well. And then in the morning, we were able to speak to the undead Cyrus. And after answering some questions and coming to a few conclusions, we decided to go investigate his lover, or the woman that he loved, Abigail Davies, which brings us to the place we are, because we suspect her of being a different type of vampire. Well, Harper does.
We also bullied Anton. Let's not forget that.
Yeah.
Yes, you bullied Anton mercilessly. If I may make that distinction.
I was very polite.
Like sometimes
I
that is
not.
bullying.
Very, very
It's
pointed.
British bullying. It's fine.
British. Is it too late to change the name of the series? No.
Change it to what?
British
bullying.
bullying.
British
I'm
bullying.
kidding.
Bully the British sounds like a great idea for a show. Maybe not
Yeah.
this show, but a show.
Hey, sounds good to me.
Future plans.
Plans.
Sounds like a fun summer romp.
Yeah.
All right. So, yes, you may take your free reroll for giving our recap.
Thank you.
And I will bring everybody back into the scene. You all spent the end of last session in front. Yeah, I am louder than everyone else. That's just natural. I can talk quieter.
You're fine.
Now I have to think about it. Outside of the Davies family home, a much more lavish place than the Wilmington family home. It's gated. It has one or two groundskeepers that were noted by Violet, our favorite cat on this stream. And after talking to one of the staff members of the house through the door, you were eventually allowed in by Abigail and led into a sitting room to discuss whatever it is you would like to discuss with her regarding this mystery. I am going to say that Lefarian is off exploring the outside of the grounds, and I will flash back a little bit to that when Dee rejoins us next week, so some information may be gained along the way. But other than that, what can Abigail help you with?
Yeah, Harper kind of trails in at the end of the group, very pointedly not taking his hat off as he enters the building. And once everyone settles in the sunroom, says, "This is a nice place. How'd your family happen to get the money for this kind of thing?"
Oh, well, both of my parents work. I know it's a little bit irregular, because not every woman like really works in a way that men would typically like respect at this period. My mother often travels for her company. She's been compensated rather handsomely for that. And my father is an architect. He actually designed our home.
Very nice. Is everyone settled? Figure we have a little bit of serious talk to go through.
Yes, I'll get us some tea. And she waves to the other woman that let you guys inside, and she kind of makes
as
tea.
As soon as that happens, Igor's gonna be like, I'll help. And
No, you are
goes,
our guest.
he just goes.
Do they usually do that?
Yes.
Yeah.
Literally all the time.
They were quite helpful, actually.
Okay, so long as that isn't and there's no like real palpable end to that sentence, it just ends there. What is it I can help you with then? Is everything all right?
In a way, no. How do you know a young man named Cyrus Wilmington?
Oh, Cyrus. Yeah, that was a shame, wasn't it? Cyrus and I, we had lessons together as kids sometimes, and we'd pass each other a lot. Sort of a lot of same place, same time. we ended up at a lot of the same events, and his tailor is my tailor. So he ended up working with the family when he took on his apprenticeship a few years ago as well.
Were you
So
aware?
you know him?
Sorry.
No, forgive me, Doctor.
Were you aware of his feelings for you?
I always suspected. I was never quite sure. I don't like to presume such a thing. I've always known that my family would find a suitor intended for me, so walking outside of that line was never within my plans.
But did you know?
I never asked, but
And he never told you?
Eventually, there just wasn't really much I could say.
So he did tell you. Is there a reason you're dancing around this?
But he did. He told me. I couldn't return his feelings. I tried to be gentle. I mean, he's not the first person that I had to turn down.
You are quite pretty.
Oh, thank you. You as well, Miss
Dr. Betancourt.
Doctor. Sorry. How was she supposed to know? Like,
she's fine. You're fine. Dr. Betancourt, not fine. She's an asshole. Like, there is a specific like playbook move where it's like, did you like leave your aloof exterior behind? Like, that's one of the questions in my playbook. Like, Dr. Betancourt's an asshole. So
Respect.
But yes, I appreciated his interest, but I couldn't return it, and there was nothing I could really do for him other than that. It became much more difficult to see him when he was working after.
Was he pushy at all?
No, not pushy, but
sad.
evident. Yes.
Well, your rejection of him does not preclude any sort of opinion on you. You saying no, it's not the issue here. Now, what do you know about owls?
Owls. My mother loves them. They hang around here sometimes, but I suppose they hang in a lot of places around London, so we're not special.
Now, your mother, is she often gone during the day?
Well, like I said, she travels for her business, so she's away for usually a few weeks at a time.
And what is her business?
She is in the business of printing and publishing, and she meets with people who are looking to expand their serials into the English language.
And your
Where
father is
she from?
Well, here, we've always lived here.
Okay, but so she's just a translator.
Well, she doesn't do the translation necessarily. She does the business.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't actually know. I've never really been much for reading. I always get my B's and D's confused.
I get it.
Very well. Are either of your parents around, or is it just you?
My father should be in his study.
Now, Ms. Davies, what do you do day to day?
What do I do? Um, well, I guess nothing so impressive as my parents. Uh, I've recently finished my studies. My parents have had me go through some rather extensive lessons in various languages in hopes that I would maybe follow my mother's footsteps, but I'm still not quite sure. I recently took up the cross stitch, so I've been doing that. Sometimes I tend to my father's notes and help him with taking care of himself. He's a bit of an overworker. He needs to be reminded when to go to sleep and when not to drink any more coffee and the like. I'm trying to convince them to let me take to the water, but not gonna happen.
Why do you say that?
Sailing is unladylike.
Well, your mother does it.
My mother travels, but she never leaves Europe.
But she does take the boat over the channel.
I don't know how she gets around. I've never gone with her.
Well, and you said your father's in his study.
Yeah, he should be. I believe.
Where's that?
It's upstairs. I can take you if you'd like, or I can try to bring him down here. It might be easier.
I should be fine to go up and find him on my own. I've got a way of finding my way around places.
And as the attendant that let you in comes back with the tea, she says, if you'd like, Marianne can take you. And she sets, Marianne sets the tray down on the table. And
I presume I'm also helping with that.
Yeah. Maybe there's like two trays. One has like the glassware on it, and one has like the teapot and like the leaf
cakes.
selection, the cakes.
If possible, I'd like to ask the house workers a couple of questions while we're being busy.
Yeah, absolutely. So you want to do this like when you are helping prepare the goods in the kitchen area?
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely. So
I don't know how to prepare tea, so I'm just gonna leave that to the imagination. But I'm preparing tea, and I just go, quite a fine day we have here. No?
It's quite warm out for December today. Maybe the snow will melt. Then again, all the kids will be disappointed by Christmas.
They'll eventually learn that Christmas is disappointing for everybody. Do you mind if I ask you a few questions, not regarding the weather or Christmas?
Surely. Man of service yourself. Do you serve the lady of the house that you arrived with?
I do. Primarily her. I oftentimes also help the others.
Mm-hmm.
I presume you cater to the tastes of the lady in the room, yes?
Mostly Abigail, yes, since she was a child.
Of course. Are you close with her and her parents?
I'd like to believe that Lady Abigail cares for me in the same way that I care for her. Her parents, I'm trusted, but I don't know if our relationship will ever be anything beyond employer and employee.
Of course, it's hard to move past that barrier. You wouldn't happen to know if there are any pets around or any. It's hard to explain. The people that I spent most of my time working for, they have an affinity for certain animals. In this case, Sir Victor in there has a cat. Is there a similar occurrence here? I've rarely worked with anyone besides the group that I'm with, and it's hard. It's so much fur.
Mr. and Mrs. Davies really like a clean house, so they've never been one for pets to avoid the mess.
Mm-hmm. I see. Fantastic.
It must be awful to clean up after that cat. Not that it doesn't seem well behaved, but it is a cat.
I love the cat as much as I love any animal. But sometimes it goes off hunting and brings back owls and other types of birds of the like. It's a well-behaved hunting cat, really.
Cat can kill an owl.
It's a very special cat, yes. I'm just digging to see if she reacts in any way other than the ordinary.
I'm sorry. I think it's weird for any cat to be able to kill an owl. They're like the same size.
Violet is badass.
Cats could totally kill an owl.
Yeah. Also, have you seen a Maine Coon? They're massive.
Yeah, but that's not what Violet is.
I mean, that's true.
Also,
But
these people don't have any pets, so they don't know what cats do.
It could be a small owl.
Okay, it could be a small owl.
Besides, it's on the. It's just bullshit for the express purpose of figuring out this person reacts differently to certain pieces of information.
I respect you.
And
Thank you.
Do you encourage this hunting behavior?
I mean, it's hard to encourage a cat to do anything it doesn't want to do, really.
I think I'd find that quite frightening.
It is. I can't tell you how many times I've had to scrape corpses off walls. It's a lovely cat, though. Purrs when you pet it. It's quite wonderful, really.
Would you look at that? Tea's hot. We should bring this back into the other room.
Of course. Here, let me help.
Thank you for your help.
Of course.
Igor's been spending too much time with Dr. Betancourt. Now they're a creep too.
Everything I've ever wanted.
That's what you think. Igor's been a creep the whole time. He's just getting comfortable.
That's why they work for her.
Sure.
Anyway, the scene is rejoined, and Cameron, you'd like to see Mr. Davies in his study?
Yeah, surprise visit from a foreigner that smells like wet dog and dried blood would be quite exciting.
I'm sure that's just what he wants. I'm sure it would make him very happy. So, yes, while the rest of you enjoy your tea, Harper will be brought upstairs, up to the office. And yeah, Marianne will knock on the door, and will say, Mr. Davies, you have a brief visitor who's here with Abigail. He'd like to speak to you for a moment, if you can find the time. There's a brief clearing of the throat before his voice, which will sound largely the same because I can't make my voice go deep, but it's deeper. Will say, yes, you can let the young man in. And she opens the door to the study for you. And inside, it's like, it recalls to me, no one watching, maybe if Phil is watching, I don't know if Phil is here, recalls to me the office of a professor that taught at my college. It's just so booky and so papery. There's a big flat desk which he sits and works at currently with some plans over it. His pencil kind of still dangles from his fingers. The walls have all kinds of books jammed into shelves sectioned off. There's one shelf that has, like a cutout for certifications and things like that that are on display there. And there is one of those rugs. Is it a Persian rug where it's like red and it has the designs on it and it's real thick? One of those rugs.
Usually, yeah.
Yeah. So it has one of those rugs down. And the first thing he does when he looks at you is he looks up to see that your hat is still on your head. But he doesn't say anything. Bites his tongue.
The first thing Harper does coming into the room is just sticking his nose up in the air and sniffing, trying to see if there's anything that's out of place for a normal, like, bookish office.
Let's do an information roll.
That's a 10.
So in here, nothing seems to be amiss. You definitely can smell like cigar smoke in here, though you can't find the butt of the cigar. There's that like musky smell when like paper that's not supposed to get wet has gotten wet. That's pretty strong in your searching. But even though it's cluttered, it is still clean. There's no like no muddy boot tracks, no like grass or outside like silt that you can pick up in here. 10. No, that's what you're getting. That's what it is.
Okay. After that, he'll go up, extend his hand, and be like, Harper Billings, your daughter spoke highly of you.
American. He'll shake your hand, offer you a seat on one of the nearby chairs. I was unaware that my daughter had friends from other sides of the pond.
Oh, well, I wouldn't call us friends. We're here doing a little bit of investigating on a few private matters. We've been hired by an inquiring individual who wishes to remain anonymous at this time. And I was just, I had some questions for you, if you don't mind answering.
By all means, business is business.
Appreciate that. Thank you very much. I'm curious. You're an architect, correct? How long have you been in that business?
I studied architecture even before I was allowed the proper schooling. It's always been my career, my only career.
And you enjoy it?
I do. I love it.
Good. And where'd you get schooling? Here in jolly old England or somewhere else?
I did. I received schooling here. One of the men I studied for a length of time was up in the northern countryside. More room to build things and experiment, but my own professional career has largely taken place here.
Very good. And if you don't mind me asking, where did you meet your wife? And I didn't catch her name. Forgive me.
Oh, my wife. Where did I meet Veronica?
Veronica.
Yes. My wife is Veronica. We met not overly young. A little bit older. I guess for marriage these days. In our 20s. Our mid-20s. Yeah, it's funny, isn't it? I met her at a library. I was there to pick up some new books, look over some new plans. I was studying Spanish architecture at the time. She was there on business, picking up copies of something new that she was to read over. And I was taken with her.
Very good. And Abigail said she travels often. It's encouraging to see a woman taken to a trade. It's I feel that's the new frontier.
She's very passionate about what she does, and I've tried my best to support her the entire time.
And do you mind clarifying what exactly she does?
So, I'm assuming you asked Abigail and she couldn't tell you.
That's about right.
She's a broker of sorts for one of the larger publishing companies here in London. She hops around Ireland, Wales, France, up in Scandinavia occasionally. She reviews new manuscripts from emerging authors, considers them for deals regarding translation, international publishing, and the like.
Very good. Well, you'll have to forgive me. That's all I've got. I've gotten a little bit of distracted. I caught a whiff of cigar smoke. It's distraction. I wouldn't expect that in a library like this.
We all have vice, and he swings a key like from his pocket and unlocks a desk drawer and pulls it out, and there's like a very neat line of cigars in there. It looks like it might have filled the entire drawer, but now it's like 2 or 3 down.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Something recent got you stressed?
Abigail has been off since the passing of her acquaintance. And she's been slightly resistant to prepare for her next meeting with her suitor. So we're just a little bit worried.
Has she been out and about recently? Mainly last night after the sun went down?
No, Abigail was certainly here last night. She had dinner with me, and we ate rather late because I was working on this, and he pats the building, the plans that he's working on behind him. If she went out, Marianne would know.
All right. And your wife is away on business currently?
Yeah. Yeah, she's away.
When did she leave?
I'd say she's been gone for maybe 5 or 6 days now. I expect her back soon, but it's kind of impossible to know. I just hope.
Very well. Well, and Harper will get up and at that moment take his hat off and hold it on his chest and say, that's all. I'll let you return to your work, sir. But I've got a card here. If you ever need a way to blow off some of that stress, get away from the work or anything, you just come by and ask for Harper.
Oh. Of course. Like he wasn't expecting you to be this cordial. And he will take your card and shake your hand and send you off.
He'll nod and as he leaves the door, put his hat back on and waltz back down to the sunroom.
Okay. So, everybody else there with your tea and Abigail, and she will notice you return and say, can I guess he was working?
A bit. That's correct. We had a nice little conversation.
Thrilling.
Yeah.
Can I ask her some questions? Like before Harper comes
can't stop
back?
You. Oh, yeah, you want to do something that's taken place while they're upstairs.
Yes, because I'm trying to decide if I want to have this conversation with just her or in front of Victor and Igor. In front of Victor and Igor, it's fine. I'm not going to try to send them away. So I will look at her and say, Abigail, you said your parents won't let you travel, but you're an adult. Are you not?
It's not that they won't. Well, you know, or I don't know if you know, since you're a lady and a doctor, there are just certain things that I am expected to do here. And
are you an only child?
Yeah.
Ah. Well then, expectations to live up to the family name.
Precisely. They have high hopes for me, and
Yes.
I hope that I can fulfill them without being miserable.
I heard of your engagement. Are they planning on having you move to be with him or to have him come here?
He is an architect like my father. So they met working on something. His family is also weather well regarded. They met his parents. They liked him. He wants to come somewhere more industrial anyway for his career, so he's planning to move here.
And have you met him?
Once.
Here, or did you travel to meet with him?
He was here-ish. Not in London. We were in Manchester for something, and he was there.
So you do leave the house?
Yeah, I leave the house. Why? Do you think I don't leave the house?
You seem quite protected.
I do prefer it here. But I could go out if I wanted to, provided it was a reasonable outing.
What constitutes a reasonable outing?
Well, my parents don't want me at the taverns or anything like that.
That would be a scandal, wouldn't it?
Indeed.
Sometime you'll have to sneak off and check them out. They're quite fun. One can get in a good bit of trouble. I believe I hear our dear friend Harper coming back.
And thus we rejoin the current timeline where Harper returns to the investigating Cyrus Wilmington cinematic universe.
Yeah. Your father just needs a little bit of something to blow off steam, But I wouldn't know much about that. So you didn't happen to sneak out at all last night, did you?
God, I wish. No. I was here.
No? And how would they know if you would?
I guess they wouldn't. I've done it once or twice. Marianne usually covers me.
And when you're out and about, do you happen to see an owl?
Like I said, there are owls all over London. There's one that hangs around here. Sometimes I see it.
What's it look like?
It's got like I don't know what they're called.
The feathers?
These? No, like the ones that go up from the head.
Like
Like
horns.
little horns?
Yeah. Yeah.
So, just so
It's
you know,
dark.
those are feathers. It looks like horns, but those are feathers.
Well, it's dark. It's pretty big, I guess, for an owl. I think it hangs around because sometimes my mom puts food out. And the gardener
She
too.
feeds the owls like a pet?
Well, she likes them, and our gardener is also just very fond of pets and creatures, and he loves cats and dogs, and he keeps canaries. So they will take the leftovers. Like if we have a loaf of bread with dinner, they'll crumple the ends and leave them out for the animals, all the way towards the backside. My father doesn't like it though, so they usually tuck it behind something.
Do you see this
Right.
owl during the day?
Hmm. Why does this matter?
Because it's abnormal, and I'm interested.
I just really like animals.
I think I have. Maybe once or twice. When I go out during the day, it's usually planned, though. No need to sneak out when it's daylight. I can just leave.
Well, is Marianne was the servant's
Yeah.
name?
Yep.
Is she in the room right now?
She is probably standing by the doorway, yeah.
She's probably standing by the door alongside me because I'm also doing that.
Harper will look at the good doctor and Victor and well, nothing smells too fishy to me right now.
Well, if you ever need anything, I specialize in a specific few things, but am practice in others as well. And if you're ever out and about and want to see a part of London I'm sure you've never seen, call upon me. And I give her my card, and then I will nod and get up from my seat and start to leave.
Can I ask you, as the GM, what is the intent behind that statement? Because it matters to this character.
There are two things. The first is when she talks about specializes in multiple things, that's a call to, hey, I'm a lady doctor who specializes in medicine for women, and that kind of thing. And then the second part is if she is sneaking out and wants to see the seedier part of London, the doctor is happy to corrupt her because she's too pampered, and the doctor finds this very distasteful. Clearly, she is not what is typical for a woman at this time, with her working and gambling and, you know, having sex with other women. So she is perfectly willing to show her the seedier side of London.
Okay. She will nod, maybe slightly intrigued. And before you all hit the road, Mr. Cowboy Man.
Harper.
Can I speak with you?
Harper will give like a really kind of like, oh wow, someone wants to talk to me. Look to everyone else and be like, I'll meet y'all outside. And Harper will take the seat that the good doctor was sitting in. And he'll take his hat off for this. How can I help you, Miss Davies?
When did you get here?
Oh, God. I would say it's a good 4 years ago. Right around the start of the war in the States.
Did you come on a boat?
Yeah.
Do you know if it's possible? Can a lady work on a boat? Did you see any? Do you know what I mean?
I do. There was one, but I have a keen eye for people hiding things. It is possible, and with the right amount of help, and I look as I forget her name already, the servant in the room.
Marianne.
Yeah. With the right assistance that you can get anywhere.
I believe I will send for the doctor. Perhaps not tonight. But soon you can tell her.
Very well. And it may be forward of me to suggest, but in that situation, it may be better to call upon the doctor rather to send for her.
Okay.
And trust me, your privacy will be ensured. That is a guarantee that I am happy to help provide the good doctor.
Okay. Well, I hope you all got what you needed.
We may just yet. If you have anything else that comes to mind that may be helpful, or if your mother comes back in town, please let us know as soon as possible.
She should be back soon, and she wasn't supposed to go far. I don't know.
Very well. Well, you have a good day now, Ms. Davies.
Good evening. You are released. Yeah. This is me telling you that your character is released.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
How far are we from the Wilmington home?
It's not particularly close, but it's not like all the way across town either.
Okay. and in that case, it doesn't have to be on screen, but Dr. Betancourt will ask the others if it's okay for us to stop at the Wilmingtons just to let the mother know what Cyrus wanted us to tell her, which is that she's going to say that Dr. Betancourt's going to tell the mother that we found evidence that it actually was George LeVay that harmed her son, and that it wasn't the method she thought, and that he has now skipped town. So that way, because right now there's no body. So, and he did say, like, blame it on George so that the mother could have peace. So, yeah.
I don't think George would be mad. I think he'd understand. Yeah, we don't have to do that on screen, but you stop by. It's been a few days since you've last been there. The pile of stuff, for lack of a better term, on their table that's been dropped off has slowly diminished a little more. The tin of muffins has, been eaten. Some of the flowers have been put out because they've wilted enough. Things look a little bit more in order. It's one of Cyrus's siblings that opens the door, but they bring their mother and allow you to relay the message, and she is very thankful, and she hugs you slightly dramatically, which I don't think Dr. Betancourt would like.
No, she looks very uncomfortable being hugged.
But she is going to do it anyway because you have brought her peace.
Mm-hmm. She, like, awkwardly does, like, that pat, like, when you're being hugged, like, against your will.
It's your will.
And
I'm familiar.
Back to the house?
Yeah, quickly, please.
Okay.
Actually, we don't. It's just if it doesn't come up, it doesn't come up. But I'm gonna keep my eyes open for any suspicious-looking horned owls.
Just assume that I'm doing that at all times.
Okay.
Rich is just gonna be paranoid.
Somebody can give me an information roll to look for owls.
I think Victor should do that because I don't think I have any of that. So someone else.
What did I use for that last time?
That's another 10.
Presence, I think. Aren't you magic-y?
Yeah, I feel like I did was presence.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I'm doing vitality.
You did. Okay, you're doing vitality. Did you say you got another 10?
Yeah.
We'll get to that in a second. I want to see if anyone else rolls higher or disastrously
I did
lower.
not roll higher.
Okay.
I got a.
What do I have to roll?
6. Nope, a 7.
Boy.
Why do I gotta roll?
So for information, you do the normal 2d6, but you add like the skill modifier that is relevant to the way that you are searching.
Well, I'm gonna go with composure because I'm just going to be very composed as I look through for the owl. I don't know. I can go with reason and just be like, well, that bird looks like it's normal, and that bird looks like it's normal. That bird also looks like it's normal. Doesn't really matter. So I add all 3 of these, and then I add whatever's on the number, right? This is my first roll of the entire game, by the way.
You roll 2d6.
Okay. You roll
and then
2d6
add your number.
and then add the number.
2d6. Okay, not bad. So that is 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 total.
Okay. All of you had passing rolls. So not a complete failure. So Victor and Igor in the 7 to 9 range, you definitely you feel the presence of the owl. You just Victor, you think maybe it's like a paranoia thing, but when you realize that Igor feels it too, you feel a little bit more validated. you see that there is something flying overhead, but it's quite high in the air. But Harper, with your 10, your heightened senses, you realize that it is the owl, and it's clutching like a rat in its talons, maybe for dinner. And you don't know when it's joined you, but since it has, it's been following.
Okay. Harper's just gonna wait until we're a little closer to the Hargrave house, and then stop in the middle of the street and yell up at it. You know, it's polite to introduce yourself and have a conversation where I'm from. I don't know if that's different here. I would really like not to shoot you the next time I see you.
It drops the rat down, kerplunks down onto like the seat of the cart where you are driving it, and like does one of those wide turns and heads a different direction.
Yo, they
Which
definitely
direction?
understood you.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't
You're
like this.
offended.
Which
I don't like
direction did
this.
it go? Would I be able to? Did it go that way?
It went back towards, I don't know what direction you guys are traveling in. It went back towards like the direction of like the center of London.
Okay, yeah, that's what I was asking for.
where
I
all
didn't
the
want you
big
to
boy
give the
landmarks are,
addresses
yeah.
or anything, but
Yeah.
it's just like that's why I went like that way. Like, oh, okay.
And then the rat is just a normal rat.
It was, yeah.
Okay.
Is it
All right.
alive?
No,
Okay. Violet, you can have that if you want.
yeah, it doesn't look like disfigured in any way that an owl would not typically consume its food in the circle of life. Violet is pleased.
Oh yeah, Violet's taking it.
Yeah.
She got that.
Like,
for
shit,
free.
I didn't know we were having lobster tonight. Let's
In his mind, and in their mind, Igor just goes, "See, I told that maid."
All right. So, is there anywhere else that you all would like to stop on your way back to the house? Okay.
No, I'm good.
Very frankly, I don't remember what stage we're on. I think we're in dusk.
That was dusk, yeah.
Was that dusk? Okay.
Uh-huh.
And I think for now we will stay in dusk. I lost my train of thought. My meds have worn off. Oh, good lord! I just felt it. I felt the meds wear off.
It did, yeah.
Oh no!
Yeah, we're gonna stay in dusk because I want to see if you guys have anything else to do at the house before I do the unseen, and the transition to the night phase or whatever. So, what is happening back at the house? Because you have a dead body rotting in your basement dungeon, and you've got some poor guy who's newly been afflicted with untalk, to down there with him.
It's been one day. The body's not rotting yet. It just smells kind of bad.
Dr. Betancourt's going
You
to...
think it might be a little weird if, like, the dead body of your mentor was just, like, hanging out next to you
Okay, that's
Yes.
in a cell, and
But
you're
also,
stuck
it'd be
there?
super weird if you came back to life after being dead. So I think he's fine. Once we get inside the house, Dr. Betancourt is going to ask Harper, "Do you have a way of disposing of bodies? We need to do something about Mr. LeVay."
I had a plan. I got a farmer that knows me out a mile or two out. He's got pigs. Takes care of it really.
Right. we should deal with that at some point. But I feel that there's a much more pressing matter here.
Lunch.
It's supper time, but sure.
A second lunch is quite all right.
I'm already cooking. It's fine.
What's the point of calling the meals different names anyway? It's all semantics.
Yeah.
It's food. You're eating it. Eggs are for any time.
It's fine.
What issue do you think are you alluding to, Doctor?
We have something in the city that is harming people, possibly. Yes.
From my conversation with the good Mr. Davies, he seems harmless. Seems like he'd be a runner, if anything.
But like, Veronica seems suspicious, right?
The wife?
Yeah, I mean, she wasn't there, but everything about her seemed wrong, right?
I believe it was the initial confusion of that she's never taken a ship, as well as her connection to the Alps, from what we know about the Striga, as you and Lefarian told us, Victor. It seems a little strange, although it is encouraging to see a woman plying a trade, just like the good doctor here.
I support her in all of her endeavors, unless those endeavors are murdering people and turning them into undead beings.
Which I believe we found a possible motive. We know that Angela hasn't taken well to any of her suitors beforehand, and that she's had multiple people confess love to her, our good Cyrus included. Who's to say that these individuals that have been harming themselves or dying mysteriously in similar ways aren't connected to Angela in some way? We just weren't noted of them because good Anton didn't decide to brief us on them.
She definitely did not seem...
Years. That's creepy.
She was not interested in her suitor. Seemed unhappy with the arrangement that her parents have come up with. Didn't seem excited about meeting him. And I'm hoping that she does find her way to me so that I can explain how I got away from the expectations that are placed upon women.
Well, she asked if it was possible to disguise herself as a man and become a hand on a boat.
She asked you that directly?
Not as in direct words as I am. No, I'm not.
That makes more sense.
But she inquired if I took a boat to make my way over to this land, and if I saw any women disguising themselves. I may not be the most intelligent man on the planet, but I can pick up messages when they're put down. I think she's thoroughly unhappy. And I think the meeting of this suitor that the parents lack in Manchester seems a bit strange to me. At least where I'm from, if you're calling on a lady, you go to her home and you ask for the pleasure of her time.
Can I interject as the GM?
Mm-hmm.
So her suitor is from another country. He's Swiss. She met him once at an event in the city. So I guess that's all that sentence has
Yeah.
to offer. He doesn't live in Manchester, I guess is what I'm trying to say. He lives.
However, if somebody is planning to marry you, they should come to your house.
Yeah.
And
that's what
call
Harper's
upon,
saying.
I get where you're going.
That's what's supposed to happen next that she is not thrilled about.
Got it. Right. Okay.
Well, either way, I think suitors that Abigail may have enjoyed came by, but the parents, specifically the mother, didn't like them, and so shunted them off in her particular way.
Now, there was something about a gardener liking animals and other creatures, and the mother and the gardener were the ones who were feeding these animals, and I find that quite suspicious as well.
Yeah, I agree.
Especially since they're hiding it from the father, and they seem fairly traditional in some senses, and I don't imagine that you hide things from the man of the house, typically in families here.
Yeah, I'm inclined to agree. So I think our two prime suspects are Veronica, I believe her name is, and one of the gardeners. We didn't learn the name, but I'm sure it'll be easy to ascertain that name if we go looking.
And Igor, did you pick up anything when you were helping with the tea?
They care not for owls or for pets. I don't believe the owl that we've been witnessing is familiar to the household so much so as it is to the people around it.
Interesting.
It doesn't appear that the housefolk bear any ill will to the family either, at least from the little bit I spoke to, whoever it was that I spoke to. They have subpar tea, if that helps. Oh, and they don't like cats very much, apparently.
Now I just don't trust them at all.
But,
okay.
What she said.
Well, the husband may be calling on the house to let loose a little bit, and I'm sure I can help him ease some of his stresses out on the town.
Either you or Lefarian, for sure. And the girl.
I'm really gonna say that.
The girl, Abigail? Yeah, if she does come, I think it'll be good for her. Whether that's just to learn a little bit more about what life is actually like or to get the hell out of England. Whatever her mind sets to.
Well, I do know many tips and tricks for dealing with the expectations. Now, I think we should probably decide what we're doing with Cyrus.
I was thinking about him, actually. I've got an old friend, I believe she's still back in Louisiana. She's got a house that she, idiot folks call it a brothel, but it's more of a house for women that were downtrodden on by society. Her name's Gilda. She's a like-minded folk to all of us. And I think that Cyrus would find a good place there, at least temporarily.
Do you think that's safe for him?
Yeah.
And do you think others are safe from him?
Yes. Gilda is of a similar persuasion to Cyrus, but from my experiences, a tad more controlled. She's a vampire. And her wife and one or two of the girls that live in the house with them are all vampires.
And they'd be good influences on him.
Oh, much better than. And Harper looks at everyone in the house itself, much better than anyone here. I can tell you that.
Probably. Though I'm sure Igor and Victor are very good influences on people. Should we attend to him now and find a way for him to travel?
Yeah,
I have
think...
one of Lefarian's little pets coming to provide blood. So
yes, that is still in motion. You should expect the arrival of some Lefarian devotees at some point tonight. Yeah. Since the word was spread this morning.
Yeah, and so my plan was to extract the blood safely and put it in bags, as you would in a hospital, and find a way to transport it that way.
Yeah, I think that might work.
I think it'd be quite suspicious if people were disappearing on a ship.
No, it went fine when I was coming over.
I'm going to need details at some point about that. But right now it's not top of mind, so let's deal with the problems at hand.
Absolutely.
So before we take our break, let's talk about something else that's going on away in a different part of the city with people unknown to us. Is today's unseen. A scholar inside one of the dormitory halls at the Great University of Oxford sits at a desk, not one, not two, but 3 books opened up to various pages so thin that they'll fold if you brush past them too hard, trying to find what you're looking for. And this scholar has been up for quite some time. Their eyes worn beneath with large purpling bags, 2 different mugs of tea down to just the leaves wet at the bottom, sitting on the desk, lit just by the lantern light at this hour as they continue to pour over the books and take notes, until something clicks in their mind and they flip to another book of fourth and hurry to a page until they've found exactly what they're looking for. And with that, we are going to take a break before the night phase. So everybody get up, stretch, have a snack, and we will be back with you shortly. Hello, everybody. Welcome back. We took a little bit of an extended break for some debriefing and discussion about this half of the session. And there are a few things we're going to do to wrap up the dusk phase. Still, Joel, you said that you had a move that you wanted to use from your sheet.
Yeah, so I have a move that allows me to do one of two things. Either ask the keeper any question I like, they need to answer truthfully or completely, or get a clue from that. Or I can find something of use in the house and then give it to another hunter.
And which one of those will you do?
I'm going to do the question thing, the clue, because honestly, I don't know what I would get if I looked for an item. Like, I have to specifically pick an item. And I don't know what's going to happen. So I actually don't know what question to ask either.
I mean, we have so many questions.
We've got...
But I'm going... Oh, go ahead.
You do your thing. It's your question.
I was just going to be slightly pedantic and be like, is there any information that we have acquired that is relevant to the case that may have slipped from our minds over the last week? Or something along those lines.
Okay, be careful with that, because that's a yes or no question.
And what would it be? Question mark. Thank you.
I play a lot of riddle games.
Fair enough.
My security questions, you have guessed. Now it's time for the robot test. Is it an E or is it a 3?
It just goes, yes.
Anyway.
Oh, no.
I'm quoting a comedy special that allowed me to form a parasocial relationship with a comedian who doesn't know.
Valid. We've all done it.
Yeah. Okay. So, yeah, I'm willing to share this. I'm not sure if it had slipped everyone's minds between last session and this session, but in the doctor's research, I think it was you did find some of the common recorded ways in folklore to stop a body from becoming an upir or a striga, or to permanently remove an upir or a striga from the situation. And some of the methods for both of these things are I feel like I should say trigger warning. I know that I did the horror trigger warning before, but I'm going to talk about some murder methods now and stuff. Okay, so you have decapitating the body and separating the head and the body, so the being cannot rise. Burning the body is sometimes familiar. Burying the body beneath a large like rock outside of the village, or it would be outside of town here. There is also one that I think I shared with you guys, was burying the individual with a bunch of items in the grave, because the striga will be forced to count them before it rises. I could give you more that are more specific to upir as well. There is some where the classic things to stop them from rising in the first place, burying people with garlic in their mouth or iron chunk in their mouth. Little late for that in terms of Cyrus. Yeah, I hope that sufficiently answers your question.
So this is me to understand. The first batch that you mentioned is to kill what the other thing, not the undead thing.
It'll go either way.
Okay.
Because they're all sort of undead. They're very similar mythologies.
Mhm.
They both like kind of span slightly different geographic areas with a great amount of overlap.
Okay.
The distinction between them within the folklore, I guess this is extra info now, is that the Striga are more connected to thoughts of like witchcraft and like magic, whereas the Upir is more connected to the more Dracula style rumor, like be in bed at night, kids, be afraid of this sort of bedtime story.
Got it. Okay. I will relay this information to everybody else in a Igor kind of way. They're like, oh, don't forget X information. I'll probably take a plate of food and put it outside of Lafarian's room, since I'm assuming they'll stay over there doing their thing. And then I'll join everybody else.
Lafarian is just taking a mid-evening nap right now. They know that the followers that they've requested should come at any point. Other than Igor's move, Harper, if you want to summarize what is going to happen with Cyrus at this point.
Yeah. Plan is I'm going to do this just like what Harper would have said to Cyrus. The plan is you and I are going to find you a boat to Louisiana. I've got a friend down there named Gilda. She's a great lady. She's like you, not exactly like you, but similar. And she'll be able to help you out. She'll be able to help you, guide you. We're getting some blood for you to tide yourself over so you're not going at anybody.
He mouths hungry, but like in a jokey way. Yeah.
Yeah. I know. So once you're there, your life is yours. No one's going to know your name. No one's going to know anything about you. Gilda will take care of you as long as you're a good soul. All right.
Or I guess he doesn't have his talking paper right now, so he will.
What about me? And Harper's just going to go get the talking paper now. Harper does not know shit.
He wants to ask if you are also like him and Gilda.
Harper kind of was before squatting in front of Cyrus and just kind of rolls back to sit on his butt. No, I'm not. But I'm not, but I'm close. I'm different.
Okay.
It's well, Harper kind of looks up and into the direction that the moon is. You might get a peek before you can get on your boat.
He's only slightly frightened by that, Okay.
Anyway, and in that same moment, Harper gets up, takes the corpse of Cyrus's former mentor, and says, "I'll be getting rid of this now."
Wait, he's gonna go. Wait, try to tell you to go in his pocket.
In George's pocket? Yeah, it goes into his pockets.
So in George's pocket is still his wallet, which is not like immensely stacked, but Cyrus knows that he always kept cash on him, so this is his thank you to you.
Oh no, son, this is yours. Listen, you're going to my home. I'm not from Louisiana, but I'm from close by. You're gonna need it more than I do. Harper gestures at the house. I'm mighty comfortable. I got out of there and I'm very comfortable and happy here. No one comes after the American that usually carries a gun on his hip and please don't touch me. You're gonna need that more than I do. Yeah, don't wave me out. This is my dungeon. And tosses the wallet at him and then takes the body away.
All right. So I will say as George is being moved for transport tomorrow, that's the term that I'm going to use. Mm-hmm. While the goods are being staged for transport, the rest of you are, floating about, finishing up your dinner, the like. Victor, you notice that Violet is at attention, and you don't think of it, you don't think anything of it at first, because Violet is a hunting cat, very curious, always looking at stuff, but when she stayed in one spot kind of near the window for so long, it starts to get your attention a little bit more.
She's watching something.
Yeah.
Okay. I am going to walk over to her then, and just kind of get down on her level. Stoop down there. What you looking at?
So, you look through kind of like the sliver where the curtain doesn't cover the window on the side, or the blinds, I guess they would be, because I'm picky. Kind of push it aside so human head can look through, and it appears that things are ugly outside because it is the night phase. It looks like some of Lefarian's followers came and just didn't quite make it to the doorstep. But as you look out the window, you see Abigail cloaked and bundled, but you recognize her face, still pretty porcelain, running between somewhere off screen, I guess, for lack of a better term, back to the bodies, still trying to feel pulses in a panic.
Okay. I will go outside because that's concerning.
And you come out and she's just shaking one of these followers who isn't responding on the ground, very poorly, trying to perform last minute medical maneuvers, trying to get the heart pumping, but she doesn't know what she's doing. It's the thought that counts.
Yeah. This poor girl who literally just admitted she doesn't like to read. God.
Yeah.
Okay. Did you see anything that happened here? Okay. Let's go inside.
Yeah, she is incredibly shaky. She has a little bit of blood on her, not beneath the fingertips or on the hands, but a little bit on like the forearms of the sweater beneath her cloak. It looks like she was trying her best to not alarm you all, but she comes in and you close the door, and she just like leans back on the wood when you do.
Okay. We're gonna come sit over here. You're gonna take off your traveling clothes. We're just gonna sit. I'm gonna go get the doctor.
She's not saying anything. She's like a little in shock. Yeah,
that's fair. Just stay right here. I will tell Violet to go sit with her.
Okay. Does Violet listen to that?
Hopefully.
Okay.
Cats comfort me. Maybe this cat can comfort her. And I'm going to go find Dr. Helena wherever she is.
She's in the study.
Cool. So there's some dead people outside.
I'm sorry.
There are some dead people outside.
Right, then can you get Hopper and meet me out there?
Yeah.
And I will take my medical kit.
Also, Abigail's here.
Right, we'll deal with that later. Igor, and I'll call for Igor and then head out the door with my medical equipment.
He's standing at the ready with his equipment by the front door.
Victor, please stay with Abigail and make sure she doesn't go anywhere. And I will run towards the bodies.
Okay.
I follow. Also, the lady has tea already.
It just appears in the hand.
It's like Igor's special superpower to know when we have guests.
Yes, skills.
Magic.
You don't know.
Okay, so going out to the bodies, it appears that 3 followers came today in a grouping.
Lefarian's followers?
They're pretty obviously Lefarian's type just by looking at the dress,
very pretty,
the jewelry, the hairstyling, given with the that Lefarian called for people this morning. That part is pretty obvious to any of you. They are all down. One of them kind of had gotten pretty close to the house, kind of dropped like with an arm outstretched towards the door. That's the body that Abigail had flipped and was trying to resuscitate, that Violet had picked up on. 2 more of them are kind of further behind, 6 to 10 feet kind of between them all. Not in any kind of exact line. It's not like anything was moved or manipulated. All of them have similar wounds, smaller punctures, not quite as vicious as the wounds we saw on George, but still vampiresque.
Do they look like I can revive them at all?
They are not moving. Without magic involved, probably not. I will give you, if you roll an information roll and you roll over a 10, I will give you like a special hint.
No, I rolled a 8.
No special hint for you.
She's going to start trying to revive the one that made it closest to the house, because I feel like there's some kind of intention there. Yeah. So CPR.
Yeah. I don't want to be too gruesome here. You can. I feel like I should make you like roll like a skill roll for your medical
the
skills
ability
here.
for a doctor to do medical things.
If a cleric has to still roll medicine in D&D, then you still have to roll to do doctoring here.
Clerics are religious people. They did not go to school for 8 years.
Yeah, but they heal with like magic. Like they're just like, hey God, can you fix this guy up for me?
That's not what the medicine check is for.
Okay.
That's a 9.
If we're using that logic, can I provide some assistance since I'm there too?
Yeah, I'd say if you want to re-roll and see if you get a higher score, Helena, with Igor's assistance, you may.
Yes, actually I did. That's 10.
Okay. So I'm treating this as a night move. So you do what you intended on, or you hold steady. So it's apparent that you check the first two. They're both, pale in the face, not quite cold yet, but very clearly have lost a lot of blood. You can push on the veins in the arm and feel that there isn't much tension to push back, like blood left in the system. But the body closest to the door, you can still almost in a way, not in a medical sense, but in a doctor who knows what they're doing sense, you can still feel the buzz of the brain. You just have a feeling. And you get Igor's help, and you immediately wrap the wound. You kind of lift them from the snow onto your bags, so they're not quite connected to the cold. You work on some CPR, pop out some herbs, and try to get the breath, and they eventually inhale and cough a little bit of blood before they start just like heaving deep breaths in and out.
At this point, would you say Harper's made it outside?
Oh yeah.
I didn't know if you were going out back or you were going out front.
No,
wait, no, you called for help. Sorry,
yeah.
I'm thinking about the movement of George still, not the call for help. I forgot.
Yeah. No, Harper pulls out Winfield Centennial shotgun and has his uppercut on his hip and is just kind of loading the shells like normal and is starting to look around. His eyes, it looks like he grew a lot more facial hair over the past hour. He was down in the basement and his eyes are kind of reflect light a lot more. And so he's just looking around trying to see what's going on. Oh, he goes up to the doctor real quick. If I get real weird, inject me with this, and hands her a old-timey syringe.
She looks at Igor and says, if he gets real weird, you are going to inject him with this, and hands it to Igor. And then, before that happens, would you mind bringing the body inside? I can't, I'm not strong enough to carry it.
Oh, right. And Harper will just lift him up real easy and bring him inside.
So you go in through the front door. Abigail has been sitting there. When you passed, she kind of looked at you, but she didn't say anything. Violet isn't on her lap, but she's next to her, and her hand is just idly on the cat's back.
Can I sniff in her general direction?
In Abigail's?
Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
Honey
and flowers.
12. Honey and flowers. Okay.
Yeah, honey, flowers, that like sharp smell of the cold from outside. She probably walked here or came here very slowly and carefully. The body that you bring inside, I'm assuming, is the person that was just resuscitated.
Yes.
Okay. So, seeing that kind of finally like breaks her shock, and she's like, "Oh my God, you're alive!" And she gets up to try to help you.
You stay right there.
You're not trained. I'd like you to sit down, please.
And she sits back down.
Thank you.
It's not her. This is a confirmation. It's not her. I'm gonna go outside. Y'all stick in here.
Igor is going to stand probably within arm's reach of Harper for the entire anything that he's doing, holding the mysterious syringe that has been entrusted to them.
Igor, you can stand by the door. I'm going outside.
Shadowed. He's gonna be like, and then just follows you anyway.
So incredibly outside. In character, this whole cast at all times.
Harper will go outside and without even looking for anything, be like, "Did you come to talk finally? And this is how you bring shit to my doorstep?"
There's no one here. There is the black feather of an owl abandoned near the side of the road, kind of in the gutter where the snow becomes, you live in New York, Cameron, like when it's icky on the side. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I do exactly
same here, Max.
So the owl was here, but it's not anymore.
Fuck. Right.
The silent nodding fuck, and then the silent nodding from Igor is killing me.
Yes.
I'm glad you noticed. I've been doing it this entire session, just like
yeah. Harper will storm back inside and just kind of like, you know how there's like umbrella holders in some places.
You guys can have an umbrella holder.
He just throws the shotgun in there, and just goes and sits very abruptly in front of Abigail.
So, we're going to start with why you're here, Abigail. I did say to call upon me, but we do investigate crimes of this nature, but we don't normally have them here. And I believe Lefarion's going to be quite upset about his friends here, so you're going to have to explain what's your part in all of this.
Okay.
Oh, and at this point, I've given her something to help break the shock. Yeah. Whatever.
Yeah, she's gotten some of the cold overclothes off also and switched to like an inside blanket, which also helps because cold clothes just keep you cold. I couldn't stop thinking about you all at the house today. And so I thought I would come. I don't know as a surprise. But it was like this when I got here.
Do I believe her?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I just got here. I've been walking for nearly. She has like a pocket watch that she takes like from like a pocket of her cloak. 40 minutes.
40 minutes until what, dear?
That's how long I've been walking. You guys live damn near the outside of town.
Did you need food?
Or, I don't know, you're a doctor. Do I need food?
It does help with shock. Did you eat dinner?
Ate.
Right. Well then, I'm going to try to talk to our friend here. you stay where you are. And I'm going to go to the person I revived and see if I can get their attention.
Okay. Right now, this person, definitely similarly androgynous to our Lefarian. Looks like they've seen worse days. Kind of like they know what they're doing, not in a doctor way, but in someone's broken a bottle over my head at a bar kind of way. So they're holding like the bandage to their neck. They're trying to keep themselves elevated. Very clearly, they have a hand braced on the chair or the couch or wherever you've set them down, or on the floor next to them if you put them down on the floor. They look a little woozy, like they're going in and out of it. The lids are drooping and low, but they're keeping themselves up.
I'm going to do it. You know what? She takes out a syringe needle and puts it in her own arm, and then connects it to them to start giving them blood. And so looks at Harper and says, "If anything gets real weird, you'll put me in your dungeon." And then starts like putting blood back into this victim.
Such a bad idea.
Oh, shit,
I think I looked it up the other day, and I don't think they discovered blood types yet. I think I looked this up last session. I don't think there were blood types yet. I don't think they knew.
They might die.
I don't think they do.
Yeah.
Maybe Dr. Betancourt is O positive.
I mean,
O negative.
Yeah, I'm also O negative.
I don't fucking know, you guys.
Aren't you a teacher?
I'm a teacher of small children. We don't talk about blood type.
Okay, that's fair.
You need to change that.
I think I probably will give you the benefit of the doubt, because O is the most popular blood type. Even if it hadn't been discovered yet, that is the case. The person looks slightly confused but very grateful for you going out of their way to you for going out of your way to do that. Takes on some of the tea to try to warm their bones in the meantime, while they attempt to accept the transfusion.
Right. So, what did you see before you fell?
The voice a little bit scratchy from the wound to the neck and the general shaking of the vocal cords and area. Well, Harper, you notice this person is American, or at least has such an accent. I came here with my friends, and we heard something fall, and I turned around to look, and Fitz was down. He just stopped to tie his boot before we came in. Looked nice for Lefarian. And then while we were distracted, the thing came down. And it took Cora. And I was gonna try to make it inside, but it's fast. I guess I did make it inside.
How big was it?
It was pretty big. The size of a person, like a bird.
Like an owl?
Yeah.
size of a person, but a bird? Is that what you're saying?
I didn't really see it. It's not like I could study it. It's dark out.
I think that's all we're going to get out of him. Harper will turn very starkly to Abigail. Your gardener, are they a woman?
No. Charlie.
And will very...
I know Victor saw the gardener when you guys had arrived.
Okay.
Violet checked him out.
Mm-hmm.
Said he was good.
Violet got pets, yeah.
Harper will turn to look at Victor and Igor and everyone. Striga are women, yeah?
As far as I'm aware...
It's the mother.
I'm inclined to believe you, to agree with you. Abigail, has your mother ever told you any stories that you might find disturbing?
Wait. What is a Striga and what is my mother?
Well,
it's a
that
long
might be one
story,
question.
And I know you don't like reading, so I'd have to tell you it later because we're in the middle of a crisis, as you see. Has your mother ever told you any stories that you found disturbing? Or uncomfortable? Besides the typical stories that mothers tell their daughters.
Yeah, she has a lot of stories that she says her mother told her from when she was young. When I got older, I figured that they were to make sure that I'd behave.
Can you describe some of them for us, please? As quickly as possible.
Oh boy, that's not a question that I was ready for you to ask me. I'll summarize because it's easier that way. She describes some Polish and Slavic folk creatures, tales of the night. She talks about a woman who was loved by someone who subsisted on blood, who was taken out of her house after death. Someone cut a hole in the wall and they buried her at the crossroads, and she still remains there to this day. It was framed as like almost like a campfire tale to Abigail. Yeah.
Right. So you know we're all not just a house of misfits, right?
I mean, we are that, but we're also other things.
I sort of picked up on that.
Yeah. Should I bring him out? Show her? No, I'll save that for another time. We hunt monsters.
What up? Okay.
Nothing. We hunt monsters.
Real monsters or like monsters like men that are mean?
Both?
Real. Yeah.
It's a long story, but we've been hired by a Hargrave to specifically hunt monsters that you would hear in stories.
Like in real life?
Yeah. Look, what I'm trying to say isn't to make you believe us. What I'm trying to say is just to tell you that we're pretty sure your mother's a monster.
And not just because she has distasteful expectations for you.
We're inclined to believe
Part
that.
of it.
Yeah. We're inclined to believe that the one that did this to these fine young people is your mother.
Did that?
Yeah.
And she looks at the person who Dr. Betancourt is transfusing blood to, or was transfusing blood to. But she's still supposed to be out. I didn't even.
I mean, she's out.
Is the bed.
And you... It's a lot to explain and a lot to take in, and I don't want to alarm you, so... Are you... I'm so confused about what you're here for. Were you looking for something in particular?
You.
Right. For what purpose?
She's like very, very, very carefully thinking about the word that she wants to use here. Company.
Harper nods. That's quite all right. You've got nothing to fear about that here.
That
You
can be arranged.
said that I was pretty, so I thought that maybe we
Oh.
were the same.
Dear, you are quite pretty, and were I 20 years younger, that would be something I'd definitely be interested in. However, I am in my 40s, and you're quite young, but I can introduce you to other women who are of the persuasion. I'd be happy to.
This poor girl.
I also happen to know a few women of the same persuasion back in the States, if you are still inclined on your journey.
Her mouth is just like hanging open, like completely unsure of what the fuck to say.
Save the gay! Save the gay!
Well, now you know why she
Her
wasn't
mom is
interested
a
in Cyrus.
monster.
Now you
Oh my god.
I was so happy for the gays, and then immediately the poor girl was turned out.
Oh my god.
Well,
It would be completely inappropriate for Dr. Betancourt to date this girl.
Yes, it would be.
For
It
so many
very much
reasons.
would be.
you don't get the sense
However-
that she was. You don't get the sense that she was coming here to like sleep with you all of a sudden. But she was coming for like to take you up on the going out offer. Yeah.
She wants to learn about the gay.
well,
I can teach her about the gay.
Yeah, there we go.
I'm inclined to not let her return at this point.
To her home, you mean?
Yeah.
I'd agree with you.
There's a very good chance that her mother saw her outside.
Oh, I'm 100% certain she did.
But what about Marianne?
What about Marianne?
She's supposed to be watching the back door until I get back.
Right. Would you like... How close are you to Marianne?
Like my mother. Like a real mother.
Yeah.
Would you...
I can go.
Yeah, we could get her.
Wait a moment. Harper sits there a moment and tries to like go through the labyrinth of his own mind and remember information. Didn't you say Strigan O'Peer what they had a common, like an enemy.
Who are you asking?
The DM.
Okay. I didn't know if you were asking this in character or not.
No, this is Cameron.
To Victor.
I don't know.
The common enemy of these two things is fire, really.
Uh-huh.
So we burn her house down. No. An option, but not one we're jumping to yet.
Oh my god, her poor dad.
For real, right?
Well, I'm sure he has enough money.
Yes, he will find another suitor.
He ain't no shit. That man in the dark.
Okay, either way, Harper just says, I need to go. I will go tell Mary him.
Wait. And she hands you her house keys on a ring.
This is dangerous. Igor, please make
Let's
sure.
go.
If you really if you really think that she's up to something, when you go inside, she has a study down the hall from my father's upstairs. You can send Marianne inside. There's emergency keys to her. The building in the garden.
Yeah.
There's an extra set of keys. That's where she keeps her manuscripts and the press. So if she's really up to something, it's in there.
That's a strange place to keep something that should not get dirty or wet.
Yeah.
There's a whole nother building there. So
okay.
It's completely enclosed. Yeah.
Well, actually, I changed my mind, Igor.
Let's go.
You remember how to shoot a gun, right?
Indeed.
Okay, good. Yeah, so Harper grabs a rifle and a pistol for Igor, and says,
He's going to reach for the rifle.
We will be right back.
And with that, I think it's almost 11:30, so we are going to have to close for the night. I think the final episode is going to be one big old night phase.
It's going to be so long.
It's going to be
probably
so long.
most time.
I'm excited.
And let's do some outros. I can't remember what order I made you guys go in.
I know I was last.
Okay. Fine. Nikki, start. Go ahead.
All right. I am Nikki, and I need to. Oh, I did update my thing. Cool. Currently, I am doing this, and then on Saturday we start Avatar Reclamation, which is our Avatar stream. It's just like Avatar, but we can say fuck. Everyone's adults. And
yeah.
That's going to be really awesome. Our pilot episode is what I'm calling the first episode because the cast will be different after the first episode. So kind of like TV pilots do. So yes, we have our pilot episode on Saturday, and then we will have the rest of our episodes, and I'm really pumped for that. It's going to be awesome. Nalawu made some freaking amazing art of our characters you can check out, and that'll be at 11 a.m. Pacific, so tune in for that.
Cameron.
Hello, everyone. My name's Cameron. You can find me on Twitter at @worldsmith_cam. I just recently released a new class option for Paladin called Oath of the Masses. Really appreciate if you check that out. Also, stay safe, stay warm, work from home if you can. We're all on this together.
Caleb.
Hello, I'm Caleb. Please go check out my Twitter at extracandy_. Right now I'm posting a lot of tie-dye stuff. I bleached tie-dyed this shirt That's what I do in my free time these days. I'm hopefully launching my streaming channel soon, so watch for that as well.
Hey, yeah, Joel.
So hi, I'm Joel. I'm typically found playing wherever I'm invited, but I have I play in Talking XP's Curse of Strahd campaign. I play a halfling wizard with cryo powers. All his spells do cold damage rather than anything than that. I also have a Patreon where I put all my stories that I've written over the years. I'm in the process of rewriting most of them to make them more in tune with who I am as a person now, since I was in the closet for the entirety of the time that I wrote all those stories. And I'm also working on making them into audio files as well, so that if people aren't able to read or prefer to listen to stories, the option will be there. So,
Yay.
Yeah.
I will try to do D's now. So D will be here for the finale of this next week, and you should all be here, I hope, including you in the audience. On Wednesdays, D runs Blades in the Dark on Critical Misses, which I am also on. I want to say Thursdays, D is part of the best team in gaming, the Dub Club, with Mallard Van and AJ Hushakid on Twitch. And then D would tell you not to watch the VOD because they've told you what happens, but I can't tell you what happens. So, like, maybe you should watch the VOD this time.
No, don't
They
watch
always
the VOD
win.
because they always win.
Yeah,
They always win.
They always
Yeah.
win.
Yeah, you don't need to watch
Yeah.
the VOD because they always
Yeah.
win.
Mm-hmm,
Okay. And beside that, I know D tries to rest on the weekends, but has been streaming Dead by Daylight recently and is also doing a new podcast thing called Through Hollow Flames.
Came out today.
Yep,
Oh,
that's
yeah.
brand new, and that's on Twitter. Then something about the belt. I've been trying to figure out how to get that belt for well over a month, and I have no clue how to get it. And then there's me. I'll be here next week to finish out the finale of this show, and I'm very excited. On Wednesdays, I'm with D on Critical Misses, and beside that, I am free. So hit me up. I'm Arcane Goth on all the platforms. Forgot to say that. And until then, everybody stay safe, have a good night, and don't let any creatures of Polish folklore kill you in the process.